I'm going to do the preview of the Baylor versus Kansas State women's basketball game, which will be played today at 7:30 p.m. Central Time on FS1. And I'm pre-recording this in a day in advance here so I could get the video out as soon as I know the rankings for both of these teams. And this is for sure going to be a top 15 showdown. And of course, top 20 is already guaranteed. Maybe top 10, but for sure not top 5 unless craziness happens in the polls. And I'm going to mention this right off the jump. Ayoka Lee for Kansas State will not play in this game nor in the next 4 weeks due to ankle injury. And she leads the team in multiple categories when you look at the stats for Kansas State this year. So I'm mentioning that right off the jump. So what are some other players to keep an eye on? Besides Ayoka Lee, who is in double figures in points per game, the other one is Serena Sindel, number 4, 6 for 1 inch guard. It's a junior, 10.8 points per game, 19 for 49 on threes, 24 for 36 on free throws, 4.1 rebounds per game, 1.4 fouls per game, 4.9 assists per game, 2.3 turnovers per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 1.2 steals per game. Now, Gabby Gregory, number 12, 6 foot guard. That's a senior. 8.7 points per game, 28 for 101 on threes, 28 for 41 on free throws, 3.4 rebounds per game, 3.6 assists per game, 1.8 turnovers per game, 0.6 steals per game, 1 foul per game. And I'm trying to not look down as much as possible, but how can I memorize all the stats for the key players on top of my head? Good luck trying to do that, but I'm trying to do y'all a service. About this, so that way y'all could keep track with me, and I will put this in the description below. Ziana Walker, number 1, 5'8" guard. That's a freshman, 8.4 points per game, 14 for 35 on threes, 19 for 23 on free throws, 3.8 rebounds per game, 1.6 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 1.6 fouls per game. Jalen Glenn, number 3, 6 foot 1 inch guard as a junior, 10.3 points per game, 23 for 74 on threes, 7 for 12 on free throws, 4.2 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, 1.9 turnovers per game, 1.8 steals per game, 2.1 fouls per game. Briley Glenn, number 5, 5'11" guard as a junior, 6.1 points per game, 15 for 45 on threes, 12 for 13 on free throws, 2.1 rebounds per game, 0.6 turnovers per game, 1 steal per game, and 0.8 fouls per game. Giselle Sanchez, now there's a forward. That's not Ayoka Lee mentioned here. Number 36 for 3 inch forward. That's a sophomore at 5.8 points per game, 5 for 31 on threes, 16 for 21 on free throws, 4.6 rebounds per game, 1.4 turnovers per game, 1.2 fouls per game. Terrence Sides, number 11, 5'6" guard. It's a freshman, 4.3 points per game, 18 for 55 on threes, 12 for 15 on free throws, for 2.8 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 1.6 fouls per game. Eliza Maupin, number 21, 6 foot 3 inch forward. That's a sophomore, 2.4 points per game, 8 for 17 on free throws, 1.1 fouls per game. I'm going to go ahead and mention the next 3 players, even though they might not play necessarily, just to cover my bases here. And Jemiah Harris, number 2, 5'11" guard. It's a freshman, 1.8 points per game, 3 for 14 on threes, 3 for 4 on free throws, 1 turn per game, 1.3 fouls per game. Heavenly Greer, number 15, 6 foot 3 inch guard. It's a junior, 1.6 points per game, 5 for 7 on free throws, 1.4 fouls per game. And Amani Lester, number 32, 6 foot 4 inch forward. That's a freshman, 1.5 points per game, 9 for 13 on free throws, 10.7 blocks per game, and 0.9 fouls per game. I apologize for that. So it'll be interesting what K-State's starting lineup will be going into this game without Ayoka Lee. And they did that last game, obviously. And I will say Kansas was without their best post player for the majority of that game due to injury. And they won 69-58, by the way, against Kansas. So Gisela Sanchez was a starter, then Glenn, both Glenn sisters, and Sundell and Gregory. So I'm just making a point here in all this. And of course across the board, you gotta limit your foul trouble and get K-State in foul trouble. I mean, you gotta come out with energy and be the tougher team and be ball tough in this game because you gotta protect the ball better than you have been. And you gotta out hustle them too. And of course, rebounding will be critical in this game. And it does help that Ayoka Lee is out for this game, by the way. It does when you look at it. The stats she's done this year, and look at her height, 6'6". Now defensively, I don't know how well K-State will be offensively, but you gotta take away their best option as much as possible, and limit the threes and as much as possible. But you gotta be better defensively than you have been in conference so far. I'm just telling the truth. Force turnovers. Limit the points on turnovers. Points in the paint. Limit those. Second chance points. And fast break points. Kansas State only had 3 fast break points against Kansas in that win yesterday. So they're not. I'm just saying that really would help to do that. And I would also say get some steals. And I don't know about getting blocks because we might not get a lot of blocks, but I'm just saying make everything difficult for K-State to shoot the ball and make it below 40% from the field. Please. And you want to limit them at the free throw line as much as possible too. You don't want them to live at the free throw line all game long because they had, by the way, 23 free throws against Kansas last game. And they made 18 of them. So I'm just telling the truth. Don't let them get to the free throw line. And you got to be smart with your fouls. On defense, you don't want to foul so far away from the basket. And don't foul when if you're going to allow a layup on a fast break and it's not going to do anything in terms of your lead, don't do like a quick a touch and then make the layup and get the free throw. Please don't do that. Also, you got to contain the shooters and contain the slashers. And you got to make adjustments on the fly from possession to the possession, and not just from first half to second half, but possession by possession, timeout to timeout, and all that. I'm just in breaking the action. I'm just telling you that front. And offensively, of course, another thing is you got to rebound the ball. It would really help to win the rebounding battle in this game. And offensively, you got to take care of the ball better than you have been. And you had a lot of turnovers yesterday against UCF. And you got to get some points off turnovers. You got to get, even it's just like a paint touch, like a drive and a kick. And hopefully your threes will fall this game. And I know it's been a struggle bus, but if nothing else, drive to the basket. And get to the free throw line as much as possible. Get to the free throw line and hit mid-range jump shots. You got to get offensive rebounds. And then get some second chance points. And sometimes your best offense comes from your defense. And just don't force the issue on passing. In terms of what I mean is, if you drive to the basket, either shoot it or pass it, kick it out. Don't try to force it back inside. Inside interior pass. It got to be a little crisper on the passing too, and you got to execute your screening and all that. You don't want to have illegal screens. And you got to limit the turnovers, of course, as much as possible. And make your free throws count in this game. And you got to get some fast break points out turnovers, fast break points, and some points in the paint. And I would try to deliberately get their best, get them in foul trouble too. Not just on defense, but on offense. And you want to limit their steals and limit their blocks. But You got to shoot the ball better than you have been. I mean, been from the 3-point line. And I know Sarah Andrews had an off game, and hopefully that was just a one-off. And some of those shots were open looks that just didn't go in. But if nothing else, you got to scratch and claw. I mean, and make everything count near the rim and make your free throws in this game here. And this is massive because you could very well send Kansas State their first conference loss of the year. And you could climb yourself back in it, the conference race. You only have 2 conference losses. And it's still so early on. And this is the only meeting you'll get against Kansas State in a regular season. So I'm just saying, and I'm going to say, I do not know about Madison Bartley, what's going on with her. She was not even on the bench against UCF. I wonder if she was sick. I wonder that. But if she gets to play or is on the bench, hopefully she does a role if she gets to play. And I know that Kai Abraham has not played in a long time, so I don't expect her to play. Now, I would dare to say Asia Blackwell and Dre Edwards need to step up. Obviously, Sarah Andrews, Yaya Felder, Bella Faunoy, Darion Little Page Buggs, Jada Walker need to step up big time in whatever role possible. I mean, for the game here. Jan Van Guybeek, if she gets to play in a pinch. Same thing goes for Danae Fritz and Letty Vasconcelos. And it's a little bit easier to be against Kansas State without Aoka Lee, but you cannot treat them lightly. They're a good basketball team still, and they played all of last year without her. I mean, that's the truth. So they're used to it. I mean, and they just add 2 other players that neither played last year. One of them's a freshman, and one of them had to sit out last year because of injury or something. But I'm just telling the truth on this. And you got to find a way to shoot the ball better from deep if you can. And get clean looks. And sometimes you don't want to jack up shots. Jack up a bad shot is a bad shot. I mean, that's the truth. You got to have good shot selection as well in this game. And you got to adjust to their defense, whether it's man-to-man or to go with that zone defense. I don't know what they're going to do. But whatever it is, I'm sure Nikki Collins' staff have a plan for both. I really do, and I would try to take advantage of the mismatches too at times in this game here. So, and this is supposed to be a really highly contested game here. It's big for the conference. It's big for the rankings. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal. It's 1,000 or more, so make money off this. Of course, like and video. Comment video really helps the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people can watch. And if you're watching and you subscribe, hit subscribe button. It's free, the notification bell as well.